Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for August 2nd, 2012. It is currently 8:11 a.m. and we are starting off rather, nice for once for this August morning. Temperatures range from the mid 60s to the lower 70s throughout the entire Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Your lower 60s and upper 60s are basically associated with the areas where there's locally dense fog. Fog in some areas is below, a mile in some locations, and that fog will lift by 10 a.m. for most locations, 11 a.m. at the latest in some of your enclosed valleys. But for the most part, we're looking at a rather pleasant weekend, a pleasant day, as skies clear and winds are from the west and southwest, with temperatures basically where they should be for this time of year in the lower 70s to upper 60s for most locations. Notice though that our dew points are still relatively high in the upper 60s to lower 70s. Again, most of that is because we're dealing with fog this morning, but for the most part we're dealing with a very humid day on the way. So let's take a look at the latest satellite picture, and you can see high pressure is in control over much of the Ohio River Valley, building into the mid-Atlantic, leading to scattered cloud cover to clear skies once this fog burns off. Now, this stationary front that is situated over the southern mid-Atlantic and cutting just to the south of New Jersey will remain to the south of the region and will not have an impact on today's weather. Tomorrow's weather, that might be a bit of a different story. When we take a look at the water vapor satellite picture, you can see our stationary front, and this stationary front is basically the separation between the warm humid air and the hot and humid air. For example, today temperatures in the southeast and in the southern plains will basically range in the lower to mid 90s with a high threat for strong to severe thunderstorms. Meanwhile, over the northern mid-Atlantic, we're going to be a little bit less humid, not too much, but still a little bit less humid, and the upper levels are going to be more stable in nature, and that's going to lead to dry conditions throughout the entire northern mid-Atlantic. Notice we have plenty of sinking air focused over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. That's going to spare us from any threat for thunderstorms. However, another series of disturbances are approaching from the west, and this cold front will approach the northern mid-Atlantic tomorrow. It will weaken rapidly, but will still be capable of producing a few isolated showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow afternoon and evening. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Most locations will remain dry, with temperatures in the upper 80s to lower 90s with high levels of humidity, making for yet another hot and sticky summer day. Once again, it's pretty much par for the course of what we've been experiencing for much of July, and now we're heading into August. I really don't see a substantial change in this weather pattern, at least until the end of this upcoming month, should I say. Also, let's drop over to the tropical Atlantic. We have a new tropical depression that has formed, Tropical Depression 5. Now, overnight, Tropical Depression 5 had a lot of shear. That's winds moving against the movement of the low-level circulation, and that has limited thunderstorm development. However, now our tropical depression is starting to move into a more favorable environment where winds at all levels of the atmosphere are moving in the same direction, and that's allowing thunderstorms to redevelop around the low-level circulation. At this time, I'm expecting Tropical Depression 5 to strengthen into a tropical storm by tomorrow evening. There will be Tropical Storm Ernesto, and then Tropical Storm Ernesto will move into the Caribbean and basically remain to the south of the Leeward and Windward Islands. Now, around the Leeward Islands, look for showers and thunderstorms moving into the region. It won't be a significant tropical impact, but it will be a bit of a tropical impact if you're heading out to those locations. However, if you're heading towards Puerto Rico or towards the Dominican Republic or Haiti, I think that this tropical storm right now will remain to the south of your locations, but it's going to be something to keep an eye on, because with the winds becoming relatively light in these locations and with very warm waters already in place, Tropical Storm Ernesto, or the future Tropical Storm Ernesto, could be a much more aggressively developing tropical system than what's currently expected. So we're going to have to keep an eye on Ernesto and see where exactly it tracks over the next several days. Doesn't have any impact on the northern mid-Atlantic right now, but I stress right now. Taking a look at the forecast for the next several days using the European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website. We again start this evening with generally dry conditions as high pressure is in control. However, by tomorrow, our trough moves through. Now, notice that the upper level trough is relatively weak with this disturbance in this cold front, which tells me there really isn't a lot of support with this cold front. Winds at the mid levels are going to be from the west and southwest, and veering off to the backing off to the south, should I say. And that basically tells me this cold front is going to be falling apart. So that's why I expect only isolated showers and thunderstorms with this cold front, with temperatures remaining rather warm in the mid 80s over some of the interior locations and along the immediate coast, to the lower 90s over your typical hot locations like the Delaware River Valley and the Philadelphia metropolitan area and portions of the New York City metropolitan area. Of course, if you're right on the coast, you will have the potential for a sea breeze, and that means temperatures in the mid 80s. As we move on for this weekend, again, for the most part, we're going to remain in this hot and humid weather pattern. Winds are going to remain from the south and southwest at almost all levels of the atmosphere, and that's going to transport plenty of humid air into the northern mid-Atlantic, as you can see here. And that, of course, is going to lead to showers and thunderstorms being a threat in the afternoon, but again, they're going to be isolated to widely scattered. There is a potential for a few isolated severe thunderstorms here for the weekend, but it won't be a washout, with most locations experiencing hazy, hot, and humid weather conditions. Perfect weather conditions for the beach. Just be on guard for an isolated thunderstorm here and there. By the start of next week, a strong cold front will move through on Monday, producing widespread showers and thunderstorms. The timing of this cold front is still a little bit questionable, but one thing is for sure is that this cold front will pack a punch as temperatures fall off for Tuesday and Wednesday, back to a little bit closer to normal levels, with scattered cloud cover and temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 80s along the coast and mid to upper 80s away from the coast, and lower levels of humidity. So we back off towards normal rather than being above normal for this upcoming week, for next week, should I say. And then moving on through the rest of the forecast period, some interesting changes are starting to develop with the upper level pattern. Most notably, keep an eye on this upper level low here. A lot of my premium members know that we are starting to see some changes with more of an El Nino influence starting to take hold in the weather pattern. And as a result, keep an eye on this upper level low as we move on through the next several weeks and into the next several months. Because this upper level low positioning around the Aleutian Islands is going to lead to a ridge in the west. And a ridge in the west means a trough in the east. And that typically means more polar air masses will be invading the northern mid-Atlantic. Now, this might be a little bit more aggressive than what we will see, and basically what I mean is that this trough might not be as deep as what the model guidance is showing right now. But the point is that we're starting to see some gradual changes in our weather pattern, and that means we're going to slowly step away from the above normal temperature regime to more of a near normal temperature regime as we head towards the end of this month. But for now, expect more of the same, with temperatures remaining above normal in the mid 80s to lower 90s, high levels of humidity, and a threat for a thunderstorm almost every day. That is your forecast for today. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. I'm going to go grab some more coffee. You have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.